Today we're doing something that hasn't been done for 30 years. We are brewing the original craft beer, New Albion. New Albion is one of those almost mythical beers that you hear about, but it's receded into the legendary past. Oh, wow. Wow. I've never seen one of these. Wow, no warning label or anything.
No, that was before that.
New Albion was started in Sonoma, California by a man named Jack McAuliffe.
I started with about $3,000 and rented a place on the outskirts of the town of Sonoma in Northern California.
I think he opened New Albion in 1976. It was at a time when there were no other, breweries opening. We had seen decades of breweries closing. Nobody thought that you could start a new brewery. That was like starting a new car company. You didn't have a prayer.
For instance, when I started, I would talk to people, suppliers of equipment, and they would say, you're going to do what? It was as if I had arrived from Mars and I was speaking Martians. A lot of them just, could not grasp, the idea of what I was going to do. We only brewed a barrel and a half at a time. And, one of them said, are you going to compete with Anheuser-Busch? I said, no. I'm going to have a product that's completely different from anything available in the United States. I'm not competing with the big brewers.
He decided that he was going to make ales, porters, and stouts. These were beers that had largely disappeared from the American beer scene, but he realized that he didn't need big volume. He could, in fact, have a chance of educating people about flavor, taste, history.
I decided to use New Albion. That's the name that Sir Francis Drake gave to Northern California when he landed in the Bay Area.
Wow.
Yeah, it was Ross Hewer, the editor of this, that came out.
What did you say? The domination of the U.S. beer market by the major brewers has in effect created great opportunity for small, specialized breweries like ours. It's a small segment of the market, but it's growing. That's exactly right.
That's exactly right.
And it's still a small segment, but it's still growing. And little did you know, there would be thousands and thousands. But you were right.
New Albion was the foundation of how do you create a microbrewery.
Jack, like the beer, sort of dropped out of sight. Recently, as craft brewing has become a fixture in the American beer scene, Jack has come back to join us in something that he created, and we invited him to come to our Sam Adams brewery and rebrew the original craft beer. As a craft brewer, it's a very cool experience to touch the original DNA of this craft brewing movement. And for me to finally meet the guy who started it all, it was like meeting George Washington or Sam Adams.
See how it's coming to a boil and starting to roll?
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, it is amazing to see it.
Isn't it? I don't get tired of that. It's a very cool experience to
Take the original that was lost to history and recreate it in its original form with its original creator.
and to see how beautifully simple that first beer was. And now I'm anxious to taste it.